heard a comedian make a joke recently. We used to have a time where we had motherfuckers that knew some shit, and we had motherfuckers that didn't know some shit. And you go somewhere socially, maybe a bar, a lounge, or maybe even your work break room, where you would see a conversation between the motherfuckers that knew some shit. They would get to talking and, talking about shit that they know. And the motherfuckers that didn't know some shit, they just quietly sat there and tried to learn some shit. Because that's how you learn some things sometimes. Sometimes you learn through observation. But now, we live in a time where the motherfuckers that don't know some shit or hear the motherfuckers talk about some shit that they know and then jump in there and be like, well, I feel like, well, I think that, just think about it. I feel like, da, 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 da. And the motherfuckers that know some shit would be like, that's not how that goes. And the motherfuckers that don't know some shit be like, so what? I feel like it should go to, I think that, I feel like that, and get all emotional. But that's the time that we live in now. Motherfuckers would rather engage in the thought process that leads them down that dopamine trip. We live in a time where people would rather engage in the thinking process that leads them to some type of dopamine reaction. Because that's what people want. People want the response that you get from dopamine. And if you don't know what dopamine is, please look it up. But people are looking for that dopamine response from everything. And unfortunately, sometimes the motherfuckers that know some shit are gonna tell you some shit that is not gonna lead to a dopamine response. And it's okay because that's a part of society. That's a part of life. Life is not gonna be always a fucking just wonderful time. That's what leads a lot of motherfuckers that don't know some shit to try and challenge the motherfuckers that do know some shit, because the motherfuckers that know some shit are giving them some uncomfortable information and it's fucking up their dopamine trip. So they're going to try and do whatever they can do to get back to that dopamine, that crazy, that relaxed mindset. So yes, I don't want to jot the comedian's material, but when I heard it, I was like, damn, that is so fucking real. You have a lot of motherfuckers that don't know some shit that will challenge people that do know some shit. And when the person that knows some shit gives the other person some information to look up or some learn, try and, help them learn some shit, a lot of people challenge it. And that's all because in 2025, people would rather you make them feel good than tell them the truth.